yeah.
You teach math.
Yeah.
You teach middle school math,
Mm-hmm.
which is a pretty pivotal acquiring algebraic skills for the first time, right? Like
You will use my math for the rest of your life to some degree. You will use a component of the math that I teach within my class.
yeah,
Percentages, proportions, circles.
ratios, and a little bit of geometry, and how the hell does a triangle work, and how is a circle just a bunch of triangles? How does that?
Mm-hmm.
If you can't, here's my assertion, here's my hypothesis. You ready? I'm gonna over-explain the shit out of this. Having taken a lot of math in my college days, because if you want a science degree, they make you do calculus and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't understand how a circle is really just a bunch of triangles, you can't do calculus.
Okay.
And if you can't understand the way triangles work, you can't do that. And if you can't understand ratios, then you can't understand that. And if you can't do long division and fractions and fraction decimal conversions and that kind of thing, then you can't do all this other division stuff. And so it's all this like building up of skills, right?
Mm-hmm.
Also, like all the stuff in algebra, like if you can't do logarithms, you're not going to be able to do calculus. And if you don't understand exponents, you're not going to understand logarithms. And
if you can't multiply, you can't do a lot of shit.
Bingo.
Yeah, if you do need to do your times tables, and you do need to take your multiplication tests. And like, yes, it's stressful, but like you can do it. It's going to be okay.
I think if you hit a wall at that point, third to fourth grade, third grade, all your multiplication facts and how the hell does division even work?
Mm-hmm.
Fourth grade, what the hell is a fraction and how does it work, right? Those skills, I think if you hit a stumbling block with those, you get stuck developmentally with math. And then middle school, and these are the kids that are that like fail math from 7th grade through forever.
I'm not a math person.
I'm not a math person.
Yes,
math doesn't click for you. You are.
Everyone is.
We have to rewind and figure out why out of the 32 kids in the classroom, when you were in grade 3, we didn't figure out how to help you learn your multiplication facts. Because now you're kind of fucked.
Yeah.
Until we rewind and quit pushing you on to the next level of math that you're not ready for. And, you need access to grade level. Well, access means access. And if your brain can't access it because you couldn't do the thing before, guess what? When you go to college, you can't just take whatever math class you want. Why in high school does every single student start their freshman year in an intermediate algebra class?
Mm-hmm.
Every single, we're in California.
Mm-hmm.
But that's part of the reason kids end up at the continuation school where I work. Because freshman year, regardless of whether they can do their multiplication facts, they go on to an intermediate algebra course and then they fail it. And then they take the exact same course again their sophomore year in their year 10, grade 10. So grade 9, they take it, they fail it, take the exact same course in grade 10. Can't move them backwards to take remedial because that's tracking or profiling or access or violate the Williams Act or some
No Child Left Behind.
Every child left behind.
Yeah.
Every child. Yeah. No child left behind and no child allowed ahead.
Yeah.
That's what that thing really did.
Yeah.
No child allowed ahead. And so NCLB, No Child Left Behind, the people it was intended to help, poor, minorities, etc., hurt them the worst.
Yeah.
Like as much as we believe data and test scores and all that, like it tanked those communities because you took kids that just need a little bit of extra help, maybe a little extra time. And maybe you do need to be in remedial because you don't know how to do all these operations yet.
They'll catch up.
They'll catch up. And guess what? When you go to college, if you go to college, go to community college. I went to community college first.
Nice.
You have to take a math placement test. And if you are quote unquote at grade level, meaning you can do like intermediate algebra, then you can go into the 100s maths, right? Like your college level math courses. If not, you might be in math 90 or 70 or 50 or 30, all the way back to where we're now doing pre-middle school level math skills because we never accomplished them before. Well, those classes wouldn't need to exist if this wasn't a common problem.
Exactly.
And I think it's a huge, huge issue right now, like in schools. But I don't teach math full time. You do?
I do.
Thoughts?
Yeah. pushing students on, because I have kids that they miss something in math, but they're incredible in English.
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah.
So in regards to like holding back or whatever, there is how do I hold a student back for one subject while they're excelling in another and moving them on to where they should appropriately be the next year, right? For their abilities, right? Because maybe that's something that they value more, something that's talked about more in their home, whatever. They've had more experiences with it. But having students that I have to teach you pre-algebra and you can't multiply, you need a times sheet? Okay, no problem. That's where you're at. I'm just meeting you. This is where you're at. These are things that we should practice. These are things that will make your life easier. I know it wasn't easy before, but I promise you, if you put in the work now, everything else is going to be so much easier. This is hard work. If you learn how to do this hard work, I promise you the rest of this work won't be as hard. But you're going to have to build those skills. So absolutely. Being able to, I mean, they don't want us to group our kids, right, by their abilities, but to a degree, I need to meet my kids where they're at. I can't meet every kid where they're at when my spectrum is this big and I have an hour. It's impossible. I haven't figured it out yet. If you have, please go ahead and comment, like, and subscribe.
Comment, like, and subscribe. Absolutely. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, everywhere that you find podcasts. I think that they don't want us grouping kids by ability. I think they are retarded. I mean that in the kindest, most politically correct of ways. That's a dumb thing to say because you went to college.
Yeah.
And you were grouped by, Vygotsky would have said, your zone of proximal development.
Yeah.
You're grouped by what's just hard enough that you can learn it if you work really hard.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you're grouped.
That's where you should be.
Right. You're grouped by, do you have this foundational knowledge yet or not? Because if you don't have the foundational knowledge required, if you don't know what a cell is, we're not going to let you into graduate virology.
Sure.
We're not doing it.
No.
You're going to take Bio 101 and then 102, and then you need to take some chem because you don't even understand the biology if you don't understand chemistry because biology is just applied chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
And then you probably need OChem before you take biochem, or that's not going to make any damn sense. And by the way, if you're going to do biophysics, then you need to take 2 semesters of physics, and you're not going to understand the physics unless you take calculus. And there's a reason these classes go in order.
Yes.
Because that's how learning works.
Yes.
However, if we're going to take a kid and go, well, they can't do their times tables, but if you just scaffold, and if you just UDL it, and fuck you, Katie Novak. Sorry. Her book is great.
There are components in the idea behind it. I absolutely love it, of having everybody feel included and everybody can be in the same room regardless of where they're at, academically. I love that utopia of an idea.
It's utopian as hell, though.
As a reality, though, in the trenches, it is incredibly difficult to actually facilitate successfully. I haven't figured it out.
When the range is too broad, when we're talking about 5, 6, 7 years of skill gaps,
mm-hmm.
right? If you're teaching grade 7 maths, see, I said that very British, maths. Yes.
Quick maths.
Yeah. If you're doing grade 7 mathematics, and these kids they don't know their times tables, they don't know their multiplication facts, that's going to take a very long time to get there. Plus, there's all the stuff you're supposed to learn in grade 4, 5, 6 that also is kind of a big deal.
And that's going to kick your fucking confidence down to the ground.
You're going to feel dumb as hell.
And you don't have to.
You don't have to.
You don't have to. You are not dumb. You missed something. You were absent that week. Whatever it was, you still can do it.
Right. And you're not entitled to the next class just because you showed up. That's another thing. Here comes the soapbox. Hang on, yeah. No.
Get those shoes on, step up.
Well, I think there's value in learning that, to get to the next class, I have to learn this one.
Sure.
And I don't get to go to math 2 until I pass math 1. And if I can't even do math 1, I probably need to go back to math. When I was in high school, it was different. Back in my day. But we had, in my high school, math 1, 2, 3 were your levels of algebra. And after that, you got to do pre-calc and calc. But if you couldn't do elementary algebra, was math 1. If you couldn't do beginning algebra, then they put you in math C or B or A, which moved you back pre-middle school.
Okay.
So and it worked. But you might not get to be in math class with your friends because you were all in different levels of math, and you had, high school sophomores that were in anything from 7th grade level math to college calculus.
Yep.
Because that's reality. That's how learning works. We're not all in the same place on the same day.
Exactly.
Some of us love math, and it's entertaining and fascinating. We can't get enough of it, and we stay after school and hang out with our math teacher because we're nerds, and it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Some of us are like, when am I ever going to use this?
Yeah.
About everything.
Yes. Which, I mean, I get it, right? The
Yeah.
motivation behind what's the point of this? I hear you.
100%.
I have to teach it to you. There's a reason for majority of why I'm teaching you this that's going to be applicable in your life. Let me tell you the real world examples of why you're going to need to know percentages, why you're going to need to know, X, Y, and Z. But like, it doesn't have to be miserable if you don't want it to be.
I think what nobody tells kids, you're right. I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. But on that same vein, like having these conversations with kids that are super duper important. And I think they're better conversations to have. I don't know if kids can really understand and appreciate them. So maybe we need to have them all the time. But the reality is, like, you need to learn this so you can learn how to think. We're rewiring your brain to do hard things. That's what we're doing.
Yes.
Are you going to need to, use logarithms in your life? Maybe not.
Yeah.
Are you going to need to be able to do complex multi-step things without feeling overwhelmed by it? Yeah.
Yeah, you will.
Are you going to need to be able to look at something hard and pick it apart step by step to solve a problem? Yeah. Also, could you potentially use this to build a fence in your front yard like I did? Like, are you going to use trigonometry for that? Are you going to need to know your trig identities and, be able to do ratios and percentages and turn fractions into decimal? Yeah, you're going to have to do all of that. Yeah, to calculate how much freaking wood you're going to need so you don't buy too much because it's expensive. Like all those, yes, it is useful, but learning mathematics teaches you how to think in certain ways.
100%.
And learning how to write, which you need to know how to read well to be able to write well, that teaches you how to think. And that's an idea I'm like totally stealing from a lecture I saw from Jordan Peterson. I don't know if you've seen it.
No, but the concept isn't new.
No, it's not a new concept, but he gives this great, and if you just look on YouTube, Jordan Peterson writing, there's this video where he's given one of his lectures when he was teaching either at University of Toronto or at Harvard, but when he was a full-time teaching professor. And he's talking about how this assignment's going to be graded and the rubrics and how he built this rubric system to help actually walk you through the process of writing a good essay. Because grading a great essay is easy, but grading a bad essay is very, very time expensive.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's very difficult to do.
Yes.
And then he goes on a rant of like, I just don't understand why none of your teachers ever teach you why you learn how to write. You need to learn how to write so you can learn how to think. So you can turn these ideas and concepts into language and convey what you actually mean, because then people will see you differently and treat you differently and doors will open for you and you'll be remarkably powerful.
Yeah, it's processing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going through the process.
It's going through the process of like turning my ideas into words and putting the words in the right order and then structuring the sentences and the paragraphs in a way that I wrote this stupid essay on Substack. Is anybody going to be entertained by reading it, or is it like arduous to get through, like some of our students writing?
Sure.
And how do you get from, I'm just putting sentences together. So I think the same thing happens with language in the elementary grades that happens with math.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And probably around grade 3.
Yeah.
Grade 3 seems hella. If you teach grade 3, you're the most important teacher, maybe.
I taught 3rd grade. That was.
Bless you. Here's a high five.
Hey, thanks.
Thank you for your service.
Thanks. I mean, it.